Article 29, extension of expiry date or last day for presentation. Okay. Expiry date or last day for presentation, if it falls on a day the bank is closed for reasons other than the force majeure, it will be extended to the first following banking day. Right? Now that is Article 29A. It clearly says if the expiry date of a credit or the last day for presentation falls on a day when the bank to which presentation is to be made is closed for reasons other than those referred to in Article 36. That is force majeure, Article 36. Article 36. The expiry date or the last day for presentation, as the case may be, will be extended to the first following banking day. Right? If the, for example, if the expiry date or the last day for presentation falls on a Saturday or Sunday, obviously the bank is closed. So then in that scenario, we can submit the documents on the first banking day of the following week. That is Monday. If Monday is a working day, we can submit it. But the negotiating bank or the nominated bank cannot reject the documents for a reason LC expired or late presentation. Right? You're clear? Right. Nominated bank must provide the issuing bank or confirming bank with a statement that presentation was made within the time limits extended. So, in a scenario like that, the nominated bank, if they have received it subject to this Article 29, they have to make a statement. In the covering schedule itself, they can make a statement. Last date for shipment will not be extended. Why? Last date for shipment will not be extended. Article 29C. Any reason for that? Any reason for that? Any reason for that? If the latest date for shipment falls on a Saturday, if you say, what is this Saturday? Today is Saturday now, 26th September, right? If the expiry falls on 26th September, if they have submitted the documents on Monday, then we'll take it for granted. Okay, fine. These documents have been submitted before the expiry of the LC. That is correct. Now, 26th Saturday is the latest shipment date. Latest shipment date is 26th Saturday. Can we submit the documents? Can we load the goods on first on Monday the 27th? On Monday the 27th. Can we do it? Can we do it? Yes or no? You can't hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. In that case, why you are silent for my question? Nothing that is silent in me. Banathu അയ്യോ സർ ദണ്ണിനെ right? Why it will not be extended? Any reason? As bankers, you should know. Because uh, whether it is Poe Day, whether it is Christmas, whether it is on Vesak Day, port is not closed. 355, 65 or 66 days, all days, 24 hours, uh, port is open. Port is open. That is why we have to do it. But only thing is, if the LC says latest shipment date on 26th, right? We have to make sure that the goods are being loaded and the onboard notation is there for 26th September. Otherwise, you can't extend it for, since it was on a Saturday, that is why we have extended for uh, 27th 27th මණ්ඩේ කියලා කිව්වනම් ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Okay. Article 30. Tolerance in credit amount, quantity and unit price. Can you read the Article 30? Can you read the Article 30 carefully? Not the presentation, the article. Devagan? Here. The words about or approximately. If we use the words about or approximately, used in conjunction with credit amount, quantity or unit prices, are to be construed as allowing a tolerance not to exceed 10% more or 10% less. If the words about LC amount is 100,000, about 100,000. If you say about 100,000, then there's a tolerance of 10% plus or minus. That means it can, if the amount have been submitted on 95,000, it is acceptable. Because you can go, there's a range between 90,000 to 110,000. 10% plus or 10% less. About approximately, when you are using those words, right? But that is limited to credit amount, quantity, or unit price. Quantity, quantity not in terms of stipulated number of packing units or individual items, has a tolerance not to exceed 5% more or 5% less. providing credit amount is not overdrawn. Okay? Quantity not in terms of stipulated number of packing units. If you say quantity, 100 boxes. If it is 100 boxes, yes, it can be 90 or 110. Right? But if they are not in number of packages, packing units, right? If it is in packing units or individual items, and then like a container or something, then you don't get the 10% plus or minus. Then you get 5% plus or minus 5%. Even when partial shipment are not allowed, a tolerance not to exceed 5% less than the credit amount is allowed. Right? Even when partial shipment is not allowed, a tolerance not to exceed 5% less than the credit amount is allowed, provided the quantity is shipped in full and that any unit price is not reduced. Right? Okay. Any clarification on this before I move to the other one? Any clarification? Anybody wants?
So what does this unit price exactly mean, sir? I mean, the number of boxes, like that, is it?
Yeah.
Can you explain it with example?
Yeah. The unit price, credit amount, quantity, or unit price. Unit price is per unit. Per unit is, we say, $10. Unit price is $10. Right? If you say approximately $10, unit price, okay, about $10, then it can be that there can be a variation plus or minus 10%. That means either the unit price can be $10 or unit price can be $9 or unit price can be $9.50 or $10.50 or $11. Are you clear?
Between 9 and 11, no? I mean,
Between
in that
9 and 11. Yeah, between 9 and 11. Anything. Right? It is acceptable. Even the packages, if you say 100 boxes, either between 90 and 110 boxes allowed. Okay? Right. Article 31. Partial drawings or shipment. Partial drawings or shipment. අප LC කටනකොට දානවා නේද? Partial shipments not allowed. Or allowed or not allowed කියලා අපි දානවා. Right? Partial drawings or shipments are allowed. Article 31A. Right? But if we specifically mention not allowed, then that's a different thing, right? Presentation of multiple sets of transport documents. Presentation of multiple sets of transport documents evidencing shipment on ports or places on different dates and for the same journey to the same destination, they are not treated as partial shipment. Right? They are not treated as partial shipment. For example, BLA, BL, bill of lading A, on August 1st, they will load from port A, they will load some stuff to the ship. The same vessel, same conveyance, either vessel or aircraft or whatever, the same vessel here. Then they goes to port B. Then they go to port B and collect another load of goods under BLB. Right? Then port C, under the same LC, another load they collected from port C. After that is on August 9th. After that, straight away, it will come to the same destination, port D. Port D. Right? In a scenario like that, this is not a partial shipment. If it is in the same conveyance, presentation of multiple sets of transport documents evidencing shipment on the same means of conveyance. Right? From different ports, places on different dates, and for the same journey to the same destination is not partial shipment. Right? In a scenario like that, A, B, C, what should be the latest date of shipment?
Ninth of August.
What should be 9th of August is the latest date of shipment. Right? The LC says latest date of shipment is 9th of latest date of shipment is 7th of October. 7th of October. Then when you check, they will say, okay, BLA August 1st, BLB August 7th, right? So port C is on August 9th. August 9th වල එනකොට අපි අර වගේම එකම conveyance එක එන්නේ. එහෙනම් partial shipment එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඒකින්ද not a partial shipment. It's perfectly all right. But the latest shipment date, within the partial shipment වල discrepancy එක quote කළොත් වැරදි. Same conveyance. There can we quote it as late shipment? Can we quote it as late shipment? Can we quote it as late shipment? ඔගොල්ලෝ refer කරනවානේ මේ ස්ටෝරි එක. Latest shipment date is August 7th. Verse 2 as it is. Right? LC expired in 14th of November, October. උත්තරං කාල තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේක latest date of shipment 7th. So can we quote it as late shipment or not? Well, we have to collect the third shipment on 9th of August. After that, all three will go directly to the destination. But can we quote it as late shipment?
No, sir, no, because the LC quantity is made up of all three shipments. No?
All three shipments. But
Yeah.
all three shipments have to be done before when? Before when? Before when?
As in this example, you say, right?
In this example, the LC has given the latest date of shipment as 7th August. So whatever the goods we are taking on August 9th, is it a late shipment or not? The entire voyage, is it a late shipment or not?
We can quote discrepancy for late shipment.
We can quote discrepancy for late shipment. Very good. Very good. But if the latest shipment date is 9th August, then we can't quote it as a late shipment. Right? You understood this, my argument? Okay. Because the entire quantity of the LC, we have taken it from three ports, A, B, C. All three equals to the LC quantity. Right? Okay. Presentation of multiple sets of transport documents. Presentations of multiple sets of transport documents evidencing shipment on more than one means of conveyance within the same mode of transport. For example, shipment by truck will be regarded as partial shipment even if shipped on the same day for the same destination. Make what dabba? Like, I think that because partial shipment and make it. Make it on August 1st. On August 1st, three shipments are going by truck A, truck B, and truck C to the same destination. Right? Is it a partial shipment or not? Latest date for shipment is 2nd September. Sorry, 2nd August. But they have loaded it on 1st August. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. This one, can we quote it as a partial shipment? Yeah, this will be regarded as partial shipment, even if shipped on the same day or the same destination. Right? Partial shipment. Same conveyance and tamai. partial shipment, knowingly. Right? If it is different conveyance, even on the same day, it is a partial shipment. Right? Article 32. Article 32 නිතරම exam එකට එනවා. කොහොමද එන්නේ? අපි මොකද්ද Article 32 exclude කරන්නේ? This LC is subject to UCP 600, ICC UCP 600, except for any installment not drawn or shipped. අපි මේක exclude කරන්නේ මොන LC එකකටද? We specifically say excluding Article 32 කියලා. මොකටද? What is the type of LC? We learned about it.
Multimodal shipment?
No. When we open a particular type of LCs, we put this clause. What is the type of LC? Because if you put this clause, then you can't fulfill the conditions and the obligations of that LC. More again. Come on. I don't know how you guys are going to answer the question paper. What is that going to be? මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට explain කළා පැහැදිලිව කිව්වා. I can't believe. There are 38 people. What is this? Malik, Ajit? Ajit is not. Ajit, why you are silent? Chandruvan, Kevin, හඳුනන කතා කරන කට්ටිය. Dinesh. So I need you to talk. I need you to talk. Right? Brightney. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන කට්ටිය. What type of LC?
So is it revolving LC?
Yes, it is revolving LC. I'm not sure, you're sure. Right? It's revolving LC. When we issue revolving LCs, either cumulative or non-cumulative, we mention it is not, we have to mention this LC is subject to UCP 600, excluding Article 32. Excluding Article 32. Article 32 says, any installment not drawn or shipped, credit ceases to be available. Right? Now, for example, in an installment drawing or installment shipment, right? We are given a schedule. First lot on watches come, Swiss watches, right? 100 watches on 30th September. 28th September. Latest shipment date 30th September, but we have shipped 100 watches on 28th September. Right? The second shipment has to be another 100 watches on or before 31st October. On or before 31st October. Right? So they have shipped the goods on 2nd of November. 2nd of November. Right? And the third one on or before 30th November. On or before 30th November. We have shipped 100 watches on 26th November. Right? Waiting. First shipment, is it a complied document or not? First shipment, is it complied or not? When is the latest shipment date? 30th September. When they have loaded, on-board notation Kaadzini, 28th September. So is it compliant presentation or not? Hello.
It's a compliant presentation.
It's a compliant presentation. Time waste. Then, thank you for at least giving a initiative. Right. The second one, latest shipment date, 31st October. 30th October. 30th October. How was the Patologine? The 30th October. 31st October. 31st January October. 31st October. They have loaded it on 2nd of November. 2nd of presentation or not?
No, sir.
The late shipment.
No, right? Late shipment. Yeah. Third one, on or before 30th November. They have loaded it on 26th November. Is it complied or not?
Compliant.
Complied. Any other answers? Any other answers? Shipment schedule. Any other answers? The answer is wrong. Answer is wrong. Why? In a given scenario of installment drawings or installment shipment, right? If any installment not drawn or shipped according to the LC conditions, the second one was not initial, right? then the credit ceases to be available to that particular shipment and any subsequent ones. Any subsequent one. I think you are a ship. අපේ තියෙන guarantee එක ඉවරයි. right? third එක හරි ගියා කියලා වැඩක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. second එකෙන් පස්සේ LCA will be seized. Okay? It says the credit ceases to be available for that and any subsequent installment. Or any subsequent installment. Article 33, hours of presentation. The banks have no obligation to accept presentation outside of its banking hours. Right? That's important. Article 34, disclaimer on effective documents. Disclaimer on effectiveness of documents. Effectiveness of document. Banks are not liable or responsible for any fraudulent documents or the accuracy and representation of any documents. Article 34. Right? Okay. Make a very important article there. Banks are not liable or responsible for any fraudulent documents. If the bank can prove that the documents are fraudulent, then they are not responsible. Then they are not responsible. Otherwise, they have given an irrevocable undertaking to pay. Right? So always there are disclaimers. If the banks are not liable for or banks are not liable or responsible for any fraudulent documents of the accuracy and representation of any documents. Right? Article 35. Disclaimer on transmission and translation. Disclaimer on transmission and translation. When acting in accordance with the instructions of or on own initiative, banks are not liable or responsible for any loss in transit, mutilation, or other errors arising in the transmission of any messages or delivery of letters of. This is a disclaimer clause. Previous one also disclaimer. Right? Compliant documents lost in transit between nominated bank and the issuing bank, confirming bank, or confirming bank and the issuing bank. Issuing and confirming bank must honor or negotiate or reimburse. Right? Banks are not obligated to translate and may transmit credit terms without translating them. Right? Read the Article 35. I will try to give you one question. Try to do that. Right? මම මේක හදනකම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ Article 35 එක කියවන්න. හොඳට ඔලුවට ගන්න Article 35 එක. Try to answer the question I given to you. ආටිකල් ටික බැලුවද බලලා ගන්න බලන්න. Bank ABC Perth negotiated a set of documents under DC issued by banks XYZ Vietnam. Right? LC has been issued by XYZ Vietnam, and negotiation bank is Bank ABC Perth, that is in Australia. Right? They have negotiated. Negotiated means documents are perfectly in order. Documents were dispatched to the issuing bank. When the documents were dispatched to the issuing bank, however, the documents never arrived. Maybe they may have dispatched the documents in a courier pouch by Malaysian Airlines. Malaysian Airlines නිතරම කඩා වැටෙන එකන්නේ නේද? එමසේ මූද්‍ර කඩා වැටෙනවා. So Malaysian Airlines has crashed and then it never arrived. Anyway, the documents never arrived. Right? Which party do you think would suffer the loss, if any? Now, who has not received the documents? Which party? In Perth or Vietnam?
Vietnam back.
Vietnam guys have not received the thing. So they can't clear the goods. Now forget about the banks are not responsible for goods. Banks are responsible only for documents. Right? The make article as per the Article 35, it says the banks assume no liability or responsibility for the consequences arising out of delay, loss in transit, mutilation, or other errors arising in the transmission of any messages or delivery, blah blah. Right? There's a ICC publication opinion number 469. ICC publication opinion number 469. Right? In there they have mentioned, if the negotiating bank has checked the documents, if they have checked the documents and determined that the documents are compliant, no discrepancies, right? Dispatch documents as per the requirement in LC. LC has requested the bank, negotiating bank, to send the documents under airway. Right? Airway one airway erla තියෙනවා. උතර plane එහෙම airway one කියලා වෙන mode of transport එකකින් erla lost වෙනවා නම් වෙනම දෙයක්. මේ airway end එක තියෙනවා. එහෙමනම් if the negotiating bank has fulfilled all three of such requirements, then the issuing bank is liable to pay. Then the issuing bank is liable to pay. Right? So as per the ICC publication number 469, the Banking Commission has decided, in the event of documents including a draft on the applicant be lost in the post, right? The remitting bank is entitled to be reimbursed on the appropriate day on which it could have expected the money if the documents arrived safely. Right? අරගොල්ලෝ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දවසටම ඒ විදිහටම එවලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට සල්ලි ටික දෙන්න ඕන. මේක හැබැයි බොහොම dispute එකක් යන judgment එකක්, but that is the truth. Okay. Article 35. Make a second paragraph. Compliant documents lost in transit between the nominated bank and the issuing or confirming bank, or confirming bank and the issuing bank. Important, right? Right. Article 36, force measure. Banks will not honor or negotiate under a credit that expired during interruption of its business, which is not under its control. If it is beyond our control, the acts of God, then the banks are not responsible. Article 37. Disclaimer for acts of an instructed party. Disclaimer for acts of an instructed party. The issuing bank or advising bank not liable or responsible for instructions not carried by another bank. Issuing bank or advising bank not liable or responsible for instructions not carried by another bank. Right? Bank instructing another bank to perform service is liable for that bank's charges. Right? Issuing bank is liable for charges. Issuing bank is liable for charges that cannot be collected or deducted from the proceeds. Issuing bank is liable for charges that cannot be collected or deducted from the proceeds. Right? එහෙම දෙයක් වුණොත් issuing bank එක වත් කියන්න ඕන. Applicant is bound by and liable to indemnify a bank against all obligations and responsibilities imposed by foreign laws and usages. Okay? We have many disclaimer clauses in it. The Article 37 says LCO amendment should not stipulate that advising to beneficiary is conditional upon the receipt by advising bank or second advising bank of its charges. LCO amendment should not be stipulated. කවදාකවත් දාන්න එපා LC එක මේ වගේ clauses, right? That advising to beneficiary is conditional upon the receipt by advising bank or second advising bank of its charges. ඔයාගේ සල්ලි ටික හම්බ වෙනකන් මේක conditional. සල්ලි හම්බුනේ නැත්නම් අපි add කරන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් you have to look after your own signature. Unacceptable clause that notwithstanding sub-article 37C, the advising bank must correct the advising fee prior to advising the credit to the beneficiary, unless it is not acceptable. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You know about Article Article 37 එක ඔක්කොම සම්පූර්ණ කියවන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගාව තියෙනවනේ. article එක සම්පූර්ණ කියවන්න. මොකද unacceptable කියවද? It's like it's a කියවලින්. You can hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Mobile silent වෙනවා. This article එක කියවන්න. මේ articles අපි discuss කරන්නෙම නැහැ. We should not put such clauses. This is unacceptable. Notwithstanding sub-article 37C, the advising bank must collect the advising fee prior to advising the credit to the beneficiary. එහෙම දාලා තමයි අපි LC කරලා තින්නේ. Right? We should not put it like that. We should not put it like that. Right? අපි හැමතිස්සෙම දාන්න ඕනේ. There shouldn't be any clauses like this. Whether you collect money or not, that is immaterial thing, right? But that cannot be a condition, right? Okay. Article 38, transferable credits. Do I have to go through this one? Like නෑ නේද? මේක මම ඕන තරම් ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කරලා තිනවා. One whole class we did. බලමු important ඒවා තියෙනවා කියලා. They are talking about Article 38K. What is Article 38K? Presentation of documents by or on behalf of a second beneficiary must be made to the transferring bank. Must be made to the transferring bank. එකනේ මේ transferring bank එක කියන්නේ first beneficiary ගේ bank එකට. right? ඒකට ඉන්න කියන එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි දන්නවනේ. Second beneficiary's document must be presented to the transferring bank. However, in case of full transfer, documents may be presented directly to the issuing bank. What do you mean by full transfer? Now here, normally what we do is we reduce the amount and then transfer, right? In that case, the transferring bank should get the documents. But if you are full transferring the thing, whole amount, without deducting, then either they can send it to the transferring bank, or even if they send direct to the issuing bank, it's not a issue. Right? Therefore, the transferred credit should expressly exclude sub-article 38K. Right? A very important point. Even we have not discussed it earlier. When we issue, I don't know, any bank is using these conditions. If not, tomorrow, Ajit, you're in a trade finance department, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Those who are in trade finance, when you go to work on Monday, go to work with it. You know, can you look for a transferable LC and see how you have issued it? Have we mentioned excluding 38 Article 38K? Otherwise, you are asking for trouble, right? Normally, if you are not issued it, excluding sub-article 38K, they can send the goods, they can send the documents direct to the issuing bank. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි transferring bank එක හරහාම තමයි යන්න ඕනේ. Right? Overview of the UCP 600 Article 38. Banks not obligated to effect a transfer. ඕක තිබුණා Article 38 එකේනේ. A bank is under no obligation to transfer a credit except to the extent and the manner expressly consented to by the bank. Right? All charges related to transfer are for the first beneficiary. If LC allows partial drawings or shipments, it can be transferred in part to or part to more than one second beneficiary. What do you mean by that? අපි හිතනවා මේ transferable LC දරන එක ලේසි කියලා. ලේසි නෑ. You have to have a thorough knowledge. Right? When we open the transferable LC, if we put partial drawings or partial shipments are allowed. කියලා තියෙනවා. Right? එහෙමනම් එහෙම allowed කියලා තිබුණොත් විතරයි අපිට transfer කරන්න පුළුවන් in part to more than one second beneficiary. Right? Otherwise, if we transfer the whole thing, then you have to say partial shipments not allowed. Partial shipments not allowed. Right? Transferred LC cannot be transferred to any subsequent beneficiary. You can transfer to one beneficiary, and after that, they cannot transfer to further beneficiaries. Right? Must determine the handling of subsequent amendments. Right? Okay. If you are not doing it, then you have to give them a proper training. Read this slide and tell me if you have any areas to answer. Yours. The second point, allowable changes. Right? Okay. The last article. A lot of people are not discussing this one. I don't know why, but this is a very important article. Assignment of proceeds. Assignment of proceeds. Now this one, there's a big difference here. Can somebody tell me what is the difference between assignment of proceeds and transferable LCs? Proceeds under transferable LCs. Can somebody tell me? What is this? What is the difference between transferable LC and assignment proceeds? Now, if I explain to you, assignment of proceeds, something like this. When we negotiate a bill, my customer is A, right? So A has given me a letter to say, out of the proceeds you are receiving, right, for this export shipment, 25% may be transferred to maybe it may be perfect, that we will assign 25% of the proceeds to customer Perra, customer Perra and Sons. H&M. 25% of the proceeds to, when you receive the proceeds, we transfer 25% to the Perra and Sons, which, because I think maybe they may have taken a loan and now they want to settle it. Right. So what is the main difference between Article 38 and 39? In that, now I have explained a scenario, Can one person tell me? What is the difference? පොඩ්ඩක් හිතලා බලන්න. මම මෙච්චර ඔයගලන්ගේ අහන්නේ උගලට කල්පනා කරලා උත්තර දෙන්න. Then only you will learn. What is what's the main difference? මේ assignment proceeds අර වගේම එන්නේ. Transparency වගේමනේ. So why you have two products? What is it? කියන්නේ? In transferable LC, customer A will, or the beneficiary A will transfer the LC to the second beneficiary B. So the performance of the contract will be done by A or B.
B.
A or B. Huh?
B.
B. The performance of the entire operations will be done by B. Right? But in assignment of receipt, B is not doing any damn thing. They will only receive some money from A. When A receives certain money, that 25% B will receive for not doing anything, because there may be any underlying transactions regarding they may have released the raw materials to manufacture the export product, something like that, right? එතකොට අපිට කියන්න බෑ. එයා මුකුත් කියන්න කරලා නැහැ. මේ කරලා ඉවරලා නෙමෙයි ගන්නෙ. මෙතෙන්දි ගන්නෙ only based on the instructions given by the beneficiary. Only based on instructions given by the beneficiary. Right? In normal scenario, the national law determines the extent and legal effects of an assignment of receipts under a DC. Right? It is possible in some cases. It is possible in some cases for the beneficiary assignor. Beneficiary is the guy who will assign, right? Is the assignor. For the beneficiary to ask nominated bank or issuing bank to pay part of the proceeds that are due to his own supplier, the assignee. Right? This request is worded in the form of an irrevocable instructions. Then ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි දෙන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙන්න කියනේඳා දෙන්නේ. Right? The bank will inform the assignee. The bank will inform the assignee in writing this assignment. Right? Assignee is the of the proceeds that are due to his own supplier, assignee. The banks will inform the assignee in writing this assignment, referred to as acknowledgement of an assignment of proceeds. These instructions of the beneficiary is also acknowledged. අපි banks inform කළාම අර beneficiary ගේ acknowledgement එකත් අපි ඒකට attach කරලා තියාගන්න ඕන. The bank should not undertake any payment or guarantee obligations towards such assignee. Banks acts only as an agent, right? Banks acts only as an agent. The assignee does not receive the same sort of payment security as to the beneficiary of a DC or transfer trade, because they have nothing to do. What they will get is, if the beneficiary, if the SINO, if the SINO received any money, the beneficiary received any money, then they will get a portion. If they have not received, if the beneficiary has not received any money, then the assignee will not get any money. Understand? Right. Only if the beneficiary making a complaint documents. Only if the beneficiary makes a complaint documents, only he will get money. He will get paid. Right. So, bank may assignment of proceeds are important, where people are not taking much interest. Right. Uh, Article 39 covers assignment of proceeds. It does not grant a right to the assignee to perform under the credit, that is, to present documents. So the assignee is not have any uh, cover assignee, right? So they will receive the money only if the assignee receive the money, right? It does not grant a right to the assignee to perform under the credit. They have nothing to do, right? Mm, right. Any questions to be asked? Any questions to be asked? Anyone? Any questions? Right? If there's no questions, I will ask you some questions. Right? And tomorrow, I will ask Menaka to upload this one to the system. After that, you have to answer it. අපි පළවෙනිදන් පස්සේ හම්බ වෙයිනේ කොහොම හරි. right? බලමු අපිට දෙයන්ගේ පිටින් හම්බ වෙන්න හම්බුණු. මට මේ ළමයින්ගේ මූල් ටිකවත් බලන්න වෙනවා. I'll have to give you another assignment. 15 marks assignment එකක් කරන්න ඕන. මම එකත් next week එක දෙන්න. එතකොට අපි පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු. Because I want to get down all of you for at least 3 classes to discuss the ISBP. If I can get you to the classroom session, that will be great. I don't know whether we can do it. මම උගන්ට මේස දෙකක් නෙමෙයි මේස තුනක් ඈතින් හරි තියන්නම්. right? නමුත් අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ලොකු දෙයක් අපි ගිය පාරත් කළා කොහොමද? With all the against all obstacles we did it. right? බලමු මේ පාරත් කොහොමද කියලා අපි කොහොමද කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා බලමු. ඒතර මේ දෙන මේව ටික උගල ලියලා මට ආන්සර් එකක් දෙන්න. right? දැන් අපි ටිකක් කරලා බලමු ටිකක්. Since we have discussed this one, okay. Case study 1. Give me the answer. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
එනක ආන්සර් කරන්න බලන්න. Is there a discrepancy or not? And I want to have the article also. Now I have discussed all the articles with you. With your answer, please provide the article, relevant article. First, tell me, is this a valid discrepancy? DC, according to the DC, the beneficiary is ABC company. Documents presented by, when we go through the documents, bill of lading showing the shipper as DEF, but actually it should be ABC company. So is it a discrepancy?
No.
No. Very good. Article?
14K.
Super. Can I have your name, please?
Brightney, sir.
Huh? Brightney. Super. Anna answer again. Article 14K. Article 14K. It is not a discrepancy. Can you give me some practical example for this, Brightney? Normally, these things are happening. Article K says the shipper or consignor of the goods indicated on any document need not be the beneficiary of the credit. Need not be the beneficiary of the credit. මේක අපි නිතරම දකිනවනේ. මොකේද? Transferable LC.
Yes.
A transferable LC, this is what is happening. Right? This is what is happening. DC called for certificate of conformity issued by a competent authority. Certificate of conformity issued by a competent authority. You will accept a document A, B, C, D, Thina. कोई कहता हरी. What is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? What is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? Ajit? Lazy question. Can you hear me? Sabdane. What is the answer? Come on. You will accept a document issued by any party apart from the beneficiary. A. A is the correct answer. That means you have not studied. Bindu tamai inne. You know that pass mark is also 51. 51 is a pass mark. Anything below 51 is, even 50 is fail. Even 50 is fail, huh? So you have to study. Article මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ මේකේ? මොකද article එක? Article 3. Article 3. What about this one? I want the answer and the article.
So it complies, but there are additional documents submitted, so we can't be responsible for those.
Just a certificate of comply with the DC terms and conditions.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. What the article again? Article 14G. Article 14G. A document presented but not required by the credit will be disregarded and may be returned to the presenter. Right? Have we asked under the DC, have we asked for a certificate of origin? No, we have not asked. But they have submitted. Normally, if they have submitted anything other than what we have requested, to the beneficiary. We have back to the beneficiary. As per the article, does the word clean need to be indicated on the bill of lading? DC is asking for a clean onboard marine bill of lading. Does the word clean need to be indicated on the bill of lading? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It has to be mentioned.
Has to be mentioned. Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
Yes or no, sir? Which one is correct? Somebody says yes. Another person says no. If you say yes, what is the article? If you say yes, what is the article? If you say no, what is the article?
Article 20, if it says it's no, sir.
Article 20.
20 says no.
Article 20 says no. Article 20 again.
27.
27.
20. Article 27. Article 27 says no. Which would question. So, Article 27 says no. Right? It's very clear. Question? And give me the article and sub-article also. God, we have discussed all these things. DC call for it.
As per the UCP Article 28, this is complied.
Article 28F. Yanno nokkoma madi 28 කියලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ බොරුවක්. Article 28 F2 නේ. Or F2.
Accepted.
A requirement in the credit for insurance coverage to be a percentage of the value of the goods. The invoice value or similar is deemed to be the minimum amount of coverage required. Minimum amount of coverage required. If there is no indication in the credit of the insurance coverage required, the amount of insurance coverage must be at least 110% of the CIF or CIP value of the goods. Right? Documents under insurance policy indicate an insurance amount 120%. Which is all okay, acceptable, because 110% is the minimum cover as per the article 28 F2. Right? Okay. This one. මේකත් ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එකම එන්නේ නේ. යනවා. Is the insurance policy showing the exclusion clauses discrepant?
As per Article 28I, exclusion clause may be contained.
Hmm. So therefore, is it a discrepancy?
No.
No. ගොඩක් බෑන්ක්ස් වල ළමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න දන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය දන්න කට්ටියට මේව යවනවා මේවා. Would call for stainless steel sheets. Insurance policy covering clause A. මේක තියෙනවා stainless steel sheets excluding the risk of shortage, scrap and excluding the risk of rust oxidation. එතකොට කිව්ව ගමන් කියනවා මේක discrepant. No. These things can be there. Article 28I and also 28H. Also 28H. Right? Right. මම මෙතනින් මේක නවත්තනවා. නවත්තලා මම අනිත් class මේකට යනවා. I'm going to upload it tomorrow or day after. Right? So then you can see this. You all have to answer all the questions. And write your answers. I don't want lengthy answers. 2-3 lines, maximum 5 lines, 6 lines is perfectly all right. Right? Perfectly all right. එතකොට මට ළඟෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන් කොහොමද කියලා. How many questions are there? 25 questions තියෙනවා. මේක කළා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගොඩ. එක question එකක් තමයි මේ කැලි වලින් එන්නේ. Right? Then after that, if God permits us to meet, you can hand over the answers to me. Otherwise, then after first, what's going to happen කියලා? අපෝ 10th උඩ අපෝ දයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට එහෙම වුණොත් අපි discuss කරමු over the phone. But anyway, I want every one of you to write down the answers. Write down the answers. I don't want a lengthy one. Even 3-4 lines is enough. Right? Okay. Are you ready to do this? Right? මේ හොඳම questions ටික මම අරගත්තේ. බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් හදපු questions එක. මේ ටික කරන්න බෑ ඔක්කොම ගොඩ යනවා. Right. We'll move to the other.
So it is not clear. You want us to send the answers, is it?
No, you write the answers and keep it with you. Anyway, I'm planning to meet you once the curfew is lifted. Then you can give it to me. Then I can check each and every answer carefully. Right? That way is better. And the other thing, by tomorrow, by this week, I will upload assignment number 1 also. Essay type 1. Right? Ekedi, you prepare it. I'll give you 3 weeks and then keep it ready. Whenever we get an opportunity to meet each other, please hand it over to me. Where deadline not, if the curfew continues or something, then you have to send it to IBSL to or to give it to Maineka. Maineka then right? ඒක කොහොමද arrange කරගන්න බලමු කොහොමද දෙන්නේ කියන එක. Right. We'll take a small break of 10 minutes and I'll be back by 3 p.m. Then we'll start this discussing HS codes, harmonized system codes, right? This when you are involved in international trade, this is one of the areas everybody knows, but they don't know what is the. They don't. Most of the people they don't have any in-depth knowledge about HS codes, but this is highly used by the banks. Highly used by the banks, right? We don't open any single LC without putting the HS codes. HS codes are so important these days, right? Normally, the customer has to provide us the HS code, and some prudent bank, um, many bankers doesn't know that they don't have in-depth knowledge about what is HS codes, but they insist this from the customers. Now, some prudent bankers, I know most of my students, most of my students, right? Especially in commercial bank, NDB, මගේ ඉගෙන ගත්ත ළමයි ටික, right? ඒගොල්ලෝ එතකොට Bank of Ceylon People's Bank එකම ඉන්නවා trade crowd එක, right? So what they do is they normally they double check whether the customer has given the correct HS code. Nowadays, a lot of customers, they manipulate the HS code and import goods. පොඩි digits දෙකකින් manipulate කරන්න පුළුවන්. Digits දෙකකින් manipulate කරලා ගෙනනවා වාහන. වෙන items ගන්නවා. Right? So it's very important that you should have a better knowledge about HS codes and what are the correct HS codes. Always double check the codes given by the customer. And every trade finance department, they must be having a HS code booklet, so you can double check with the booklet, right? Okay. The harmonized commodity description and coding system, HS codes. Harmonized commodity description and coding system, also known as the harmonized system, HS of tariff nomenclature, is an internationally standardized system of names and numbers to classify traded products. Everybody, any country, if same product, they all are having a same standardized HS code system. They have the harmonized system. It is standardized one, right? So in one country, when we are opening LCs, if you say HS code 77.74, for example, that shows a particular item, right? එතකොට අනිත් country එකෙන් export කරන්නේ ඒකම තමයි කරන්නේ, right? So it's very, very important. It came into effect in 1988 and has since been developed and maintained by the World Customs Organization, WCO. World Customs Organization. Formerly, it was known as the Customs Cooperation Council, right? An independent intergovernmental organization based in Brussels, Belgium, with over 200 member countries, right? So, in other words, HS codes are maintained and developed by the World Customs Organization, right? Which is based in Brussels, Belgium. And how many member countries they have? How many member countries they have? How many member countries WCO has?
Over 200.
Over 200. Over 200 they have. on top of brief notes, you might get these things for your multiple choice questions also. Right? This facilitate as a basis for their customs tariff and for the calculation of international trade statistics. HS code වලින් තමයි අපේ international trade statistics calculate කරන්නේ. And we need that for calculation of the custom tariff. Right? Over 98% of the merchandise, in international trade is classified in terms of the HS harmonized system. Over 98% of the merchandise in the international trade is coming under this HS code classification. Right? It comprises about 5,000 commodity groups. Right? Each group identified by 6-digit code, arranged in a legal and logical structure, and is supported by well-defined rules to achieve uniform classification. Right? The HS code consists of 6 digits, we said. The first 2 digits designate the HS chapter. That is the HS chapter. The second 2 digits designate the HS heading. HS heading. The third 2 digits designate the HS subheading. Right? So it is in HS codes consist of 6 digits. First 2 shows the chapter, HS chapter. Then the second is HS heading. Third is HS code. Subheadings. HS code 1006.30, for example, indicates chapter 10, 1006.30, 6 digit. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Then the first 2 digits are the chapter. So that means chapter 10. Chapter 10. Heading is 606. 06 heading. Now chapter 10 is cereals. The under cereals, heading 06 means rice. Rice is also a cereal. Right? Headings and the next 2, 06 is rice. Right? And subheading 30. Subheading 30 is semi-milled or wholly milled rice, whether or not polished or glazed. They mean rice categories subheadings that semi-milled or wholly milled rice. Right? That is how these things happened. Now, for example of the hierarchical structure of the harmonized system. Right? Hierarchical structure of the harmonized system. Section 2, okay, putting in a section 2 vegetable products, under vegetable products. Chapter 10. Chapter 10 is cereals. Then 06. In a character 0.06. Ekamango rice kera. The thing is rice. It was a sub-heading nigger. Semi-milled or wholly milled rice, whether or not polished or glazed. Whether or not polished or glazed. So, in other words, when we open the LC, put in the HS code 1006.30 HLN. When the other guys, when they are exporting the stuff to us, they know this guy wants rice, semi-milled or wholly milled rice, right? Whether or not polished or glazed. Clear? So everybody knows what is it. අපි දාන්නේ මොකද්ද? HS code 1006.30 HLI. Is it clear? Okay. The HS is organized logically by economic activity or component material. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
You can hear? Okay, fine. The HS is organized logically by economic activity or component material. For example, animals and animal found in one section of the HS, while machinery and mechanical appliances are found in another one. Right? Now, HS is organized into 21 sections. 21 sections. Right side මොන section එකටද? Right side මොන section එකටද?
Section 2.
Section 2. Right? Section 2 again. So 21 sections are there, which are subdivided into 99 chapters. Subdivided into 99 chapters. The 99 HS chapters are further subdivided into 1244 headings. Okay? And 5224 subheadings, and are supported by well-defined rules to achieve uniform classification. Right? Any more clarification or questions on that? Right? Right. Parties are permitted to subdivide the HS nomenclature 6 digits according to their own tariff and statistical requirement. Sometimes it will go up to 8 digits. 8 digits they can subdivide it, right? According to their own tariff and statistical requirement. Maybe tariff එක තමයි වැදගත්. පොඩි දේවල් එහාට මෙහාට වෙනස් වුණොත් ඉවරයි. ඒක සම්පූර්ණ වෙනස් tariff එකක් එන්නේ. I think few years back, when I was handling some disease, I had the same, even on that particular customer, NTB also, NTB, Nation Trust, also complained to me. So this particular customer is one of your customers as well as my customers, our customers. They are practices. For example, when we import vehicles, one few years back, then probably the Kamatama vehicles Northland, when we were importing vehicles, certain vehicles over 15 seaters, duty is low or something, like either high or low. Not like the other one, but then it comes into um, um, transport category. Passenger vehicles again. Right? That's what you mean. එහෙම කරලා මේගොල්ලෝ ගේන්නේ සීට්ස් හතරක් තියෙන ලක්ෂරියවත් දානවා අර කැටගරි එකට. 15 සීට කැටගරි එකේ HS කෝඩ් එකට. දාලා නේද වංගුව දාලා එනවා. ඒ කස්ටම්ස් එකේ අහු වෙනවා. කස්ටම්ස් එකේ අහු වෙනවා. ආටද බය? කීයක් හරි දුන්නාම අලිය කරගෙන එන්න පුළුවන්. Right? By doing that, they are saving some millions of duty. Millions of duty. පොඩි මේක. අපි තුමු මුල එක 77.74 point something. And something. Right? 77.74 point. ඊට පස්සේ තව එකක් අනිත් දෙක වෙනස් කරනවා. To tally the taxes. Right? ඒක හරි රිස්කි දෙයක්. Parties often set their custom duties at the 8-digit tariff code level. Right? In addition to the HS codes and commodity descriptions, each section and chapter of the HS, each section and chapter of the HS is prefaced by legal notes which are designed to clarify the proper classification of goods. Right? So you have to be very careful when you are doing these things. HS contributes to the harmonization of customs and trade procedures. It's a very important benefit. Right? It is also extensively used by governments, international organizations, and the private sector for many other purposes such as internal taxes. HS code එකට තමයි taxes ගහන්නේ. Internal taxes, import duty එහෙම ගහන්නේ HS code එකට. Right? That is why it's very important that we have to use the correct HS code. If the bank has done it purposely, then you will also get caught. If you do it purposely, එහෙම කරනවා banks. Just to help their customer. But good banks, they will never do it. They double check what the customer says. Right? Purpose of internal taxes, trade policies, monitoring of control goods, rules of origin, transport statistics, freight tariff, price monitoring, quota controls, compilation of national accounts, and economic research and analysis. Right? HS code is thus a universal economic language and code for goods and the indispensable tool for international trade. It's an indispensable tool for international trade. Whatever we import, we'll have to give the correct HS code. Right? It's an economic language, universal economic language. So how much of vehicles we are importing, passenger vehicles, අපි කරන්නේ HS codes customs ල තියෙන records ල HS code මේකක් ගහුව ගමන් download කරගමන් ටක් ගාලා එනවා ඔක්කොම vehicles ටික. Then how many personal use, how many passenger vehicles, how many diplomatic vehicles, how many duty-free ministers' vehicles. Everything we can get breakdown. Right? Then those breakdown is very important when we analyze and doing the economic research, customs. The HS code is that's the universal economic language and code for goods and an indispensable tool for international trade. Before the harmonized system, a lack of uniformity among the commodity classification system around the globe has become a major concern. Since its implementation in 1958, the HS has helped ease the complexity of import-export business by categorizing goods in a globally unified manner. What are the benefits of HS codes? Right? According to WCO, that is World Customs Organization, HS has helped uniformity among the commodity classification systems around the globe. Right? Import-export businesses reduce the cost associated with international trade and ensure that companies pay the right tariff, thus avoiding fines. මොකද අපි ගහන්නේ HS code එකට තමයි taxes කරන්නේ. Right? If the government finds out that you have manipulated the thing purposely, they will have an inquiry. And if you found guilty, there will be massive fine. Right? If the HS is not properly understood, import-export business can face legal penalties or have goods seized. Any idea about that one? Any idea about that one? Any idea about that one? If you have done it by mistake, can you get escape? Can you hear me?
So it will have compliance issues, no?
It will be a compliance issue, yeah, obviously, right? Because you can confiscate the goods even if you have manipulated thing, right? Maintenance of the HS is prioritized to combat inevitable changes in technology and trade patterns. As such, the WCO continually monitors the HS and makes amendments every 5 to 6 years. So we have started in 1988, when every 5-6 years, WCO call for a conference and then they revise and revisit the HS codes. Okay. Any questions? Any questions you want to ask on HS codes? මේ පොඩි පොඩි කෑලි මම ඔයගන්ට කරන්නේ මේ කෑලි පොඩි 5 marks ඒවා 5 marks වලට මෙච්චර ලියන්නත් ඕනේ නැහැ. තේරුම් ගන්න නැහැ. You can go through this one and you can summarize it and keep it. Summarize version එක ලියන්න 10 lines 15 lines ලියවන ඇති. Right? Okay. Any questions?
So are banks being fined for this? I mean, if found fault with some HS codes?
I think if they can prove that we have joined with the customers and try to do a forgery or a fraud. Purposely we are doing this. If they can prove it, yes, bank will be, they can found the banks negligent as well as supporting the frauds. Supporting the frauds means we also have done a fraud. You can't escape. You can't escape. Right? We have a custom, we have a trade department එකෙම අලි HS code පොත තියෙනවා. HS code පොත තියෙනවා descriptions එකම තියෙනවා. Any other questions? ඔය පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕන. Right? Okay. Then we move on to the other short session. Can you see this presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, GSP and GSP plus. Hari. Highly discussed event. Always. These days also we are discussing. Right? මම දැක්ක පොඩි දවස් ටිකේම යනවා මේ topic එක කතා කරනවා. GSP and GSP plus. The Geneva, the lady කෙනෙක් ඉන්නේ අපි උම මනාගෙන කන්න. I can't remember the name. Human rights. She is always suggesting the European Union members to impose or to block GSP and GSP plus to Sri Lanka. This one, all these developed countries, they take this, they keep this as a tool to punish us. School ළමයින්ටගේ අපිව පනිෂ් කරන්න තියාගෙන මේක. right? වැරදි කළොත් ඉස්කෝලේ මොකද කියන්නේ? ගහන දන ඉඳ දන ගහගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. අනිත් ළමයි බල බල යනවා. අපි දන ගහගෙන ඉන්නවා. ජොලිද ඉදවස්ල දන ගහගෙන හිටපු කට්ටිය ඇති උතන ක්ලාස් එකේ. මේ වගේ වැඩක් මේක GSP එකට. උණු දෙයට පේනවා අපිට දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අනිත් ළමයින්ට ප්‍රිවිලේජ් එකක් තියෙනවා. right? දැන් අපිට කියනවා ඉස්කෝලේදී මොනවාරි වැරද්දක් කළා අහුවෙලා. Principal කියන office එක ගාව දන ගහගෙන ඉන්න. දන ගහගෙන ඉන්නවා. Then come, just go back to your school days. Right? මම දන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට නම් හැබැයි හම්බුණාද කියලා මට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ෂුවර් නෑ. අපි ඉස්කෝලේ කොට අපිට බනිස් දුන්නා. ඉන්ටර්වල් එකට. ඔයගොල්ලන් හම්බුණාද? නෑ. හොර කාලා තියෙනවද? ඉස්කෝලේ ඉන්ටර්වල් එකට ගෙදරින් අරන් ගිහලා නෙමෙයි ඉස්කෝලේ. නෑ. දැන් මේකත් ඒ වගේ වැඩක්. එතකොට දැන් අපි දන ගහගෙන අතන ඉන්නවා. ක්ලාස් එකට ගෙනලා බනිස් බෙදනවා. Right? They get the buns. The others get the buns. Right? They get the bonus. The මගේ බනිස් ඉඩියත් එක්කම එකත් අරගෙන දැන් ක්ලාස් එකට එවනකොට එවන්නේ according to the attendance register නේ. එදා ක්ලාස් එකේ 35ක් ඉන්නවා. දැන් ගන්න බනිස් කිරි 35ක් පෙට්ටියකට දාලා එව්වා. දැන් 34යි තියෙන්නේ 34 බෙදුවට පස්සේ එකක් වැඩි. එළිය දන ගහගෙන. ප්‍රින්සිපල් ඔෆිස් එක ගාව. අරකට බෝනස් එකක් හැටියට ගන්නවා අපි. බෙදාගෙන කනවා එක. රයිට්? ඒ වගේ වැඩක් තමයි GSP එක ඕන්ට වඩා අපිව මට්ටු කරන ටූල් එකක් කරගෙන. What is GSP? European Union's Generalized Scheme of Preferences, GSP. Generalized Scheme of Preferences. Right? Shall we highlight that? Right? Generalized Scheme of Preferences, GSP, is a system of unilateral trade concessions. Unilateral trade concessions. These trade concessions are one way, not two way. That reduces or eliminates type tariffs. Tariffs on a range of exports from developing countries or least developed countries. Now, this generalized scheme of preference, or in simple we say GSP. GSP is a unilateral trade concession. It's a unilateral trade concession. The important points, right? And that means only one way. And reduces or eliminates tariff on a range of exports from developing countries or least developed countries. Always these exports from developing or developing or least developed countries to developed countries. So the developed countries are the people. Developed countries are the people who grant this facility. The European Union is a developed countries, not developing country. Sri Lanka developed the least developed.
Developing country.
What is that?
Developing country.
Yeah, we are a developing country. So whatever the exports from Sri Lanka to developed countries, they give GSP facility, Generalized Scheme of Preferences. Right? GSP is used to increase export revenue of developing countries they will increase the export revenue of countries like us, and to reduce poverty. When we do more exports, we get more foreign exchange. We get more foreign exchange. Then it will be a good tool for us to fight against the poverty of our country, poverty, or to reduce the poverty, promote sustainable development and good governance, right? GSP preferential arrangements focus solely on granting tariff preferences for trade in goods. Now, GSP, these preferential arrangements, focus entirely on the granting of tariff preferences, nothing else, right? Whenever දැන් සමහර ඒවා අපිට ප්‍රොහිබිට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් මේක කරන්නේ යන්නේවට when we grant a preferential tariff facility එකක් දෙන්නේ. European Union GSP has been in place since 1971, although it has periodically been subject to reviews. HS codes again make us periodically subject to reviews. This scheme was created on recommendations by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, and also based on the World Trade Organization, WTO, regulations. Right? Since 1971, GSP was there. But I don't think 1971 can be A-level කරපු කාලේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉපදිලා නැහැ. හැබැයි ඒ දවස්වල අපි මේ GSP කියන විදිහ කතා කළේ නැහැ. හොඳ නැහැ කියලා. අපිට තේරුමකුත් නැහැ. අපි දන්නෙත් නැහැ. මේ මෙච්චරද මේ තරම් කතා කළෙත් නැහැ. අපිට මේ තරම් අපිට ඕනකමක් තිබුණෙත් නැහැ. Because for certain goods we were the market leaders for certain goods those days. But now we are no more. අපි tea rubber ගත්ත නම් tea rubber coconut වලට ඒකට අපි market leader. දැන් නෑ අපිට. දැන් මේ coconut ඇත්තෙම නෑ. අපිට කන්නවත් coconut නෑ. Local consumption වලටත් නෑ. rubber නම් ටිකක් තියෙනවා, tea ටිකක් තියෙනවා. But we have lost the leadership in those two commodities. Then which permits developed countries to create trading preference for developing countries. Developing countries වල අපි preference එක දෙනවා. Preference දෙනවා කියන්නේ මේ උන්ටාඩ එක තමයි කිව්වේ okay, we have to support the developing countries. We have told the developed countries, all the developed countries should support these developing countries. They are trying to come up. One day, those are the people who will manage the trade in the world globally. Do you know, a few years back, 1970s, early 80s, ඒ කාලේ වෙනකොට China developing country එකක් වගේ. Developing country එකක් වගේ. ඒගොල්ලන්ට GSP තිබුණා. Now, no more. They are some other leaders, world leaders in trade. Right? එහෙම අරගෙන තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කෙලින් උනේ. Under GSP, non-reciprocal means that goods imported into the participate in developed countries from selected developing countries are eligible to reduce nil rates of duty, either reduced rate or zero rate of duty. So, what is the benefit a country is having when they have GSP facility or GSP plus or GSP facility with the developing country, developed country, right? What's the benefit for a country? Now we'll take for an example uh, garment industries. Garment industries. Garment industries அப்படி garment சொல்லிட்டு அப்படி GSP அப்படி இல்லைனா the European Union decide not to give GSP for Sri Lanka. Not to give, stop GSP temporarily for Sri Lanka for 1 year. Right? What is going to happen to our exports? That means we can't do any exports, or can we? We can't do any exports, or can we do any exports?
We can, sir.
We can. So then what is the problem we are having? What is the benefit the others are having, and what is going to happen to our product? Same product like garments.
Tax concession.
But then
We will not have tax concession.
we will not have a tax concession. Then what is going to happen? We are going to have a discussion. Come on, participate. Others.
They apply duty to our products. Our products cost will enhance and
Very good.
total ultimate selling price will increase other than
Yeah. I think what you're trying to tell me is very clear. We have stopped giving GSP to us. What is going to happen to our competitive product? They will tax us. Others, they'll get either 2% or 0%. Then the same product of garments, whose product will be much cheaper? Ours or Vietnam? Ours or Vietnam? Vietnam. Then what is going to happen to our exports? Nobody will buy. Nobody will buy. Right? එතකොට අපේ GSP partners ලා ඉන්නවා European Union, America, UK අපේ GSP partners ලා ඉන්නවා. So, why can't we sell it to other countries? Can we do it? Can we do it? We can. Right? We can sell it to other countries. But only thing is, again, we're going to have a obstruction under the taxes. Right?
So that, hello.
Yeah.
So that Vietnam and Sri Lanka. So I'm sorry, I missed that part, sir. The Vietnam and Sri Lanka comparison that you mentioned. Can you explain that again? I missed that part, sir.
Yeah. Now, Vietnam also export finished garments to Belgium or France or European countries, or
Yeah.
to the European Union, all the countries. We are also sending our governments, right? Now, if both are having GSP, then what is going to happen? Our selling prices will be equal, almost equal, right? Now, මෙහෙමත් අපි කරමු. අපි තව පොඩ්ඩක් ගමු. වියට්නාම් වලින් prices ටික වෙන්නේ at if you say $100, right? Certain goods අපි දුන්නා $100. Ours is $95. Ours is $95. Vietnam $100, I pay $95 in. Then, if you are not going to tax anything, make without any taxes, price second, right? Then, if you are going to, if both are going to compete each other in a market, right? Our people are having a better advantage because our stuff is 95, whereas Vietnam stuff is 100. That without charging any taxes. අපි taxes equal ගාන ගහන්නේ. ඒකට අපි එම we assume. Now, we haven't got the GSP, but Vietnam, they gave tax to Vietnam. The 100 අපි කිව්ව taxes එක්ක කියලා දැන් අපේ එකට tax කරනවා. අපේ 95 එකට tax කරනවා. එතකොට අරගොල්ලන්ගේ no taxes 100 තියෙනවා. අපේ 95 එකට tax කරනවා. අපිට ගහනවා 20%. අපිට 20% ගෙවුවම 95 වල 20% කියන්නේ it's about $19 එනවා ඒකට. Then our prices will go up to 95 to 114. Now our goods are trading at 114 against Vietnam's 100. Now who is having the advantage? Vietnam guys are having the advantage. Everybody, the customer, what they look is, if it is the same product, identical products, same quality, then they go for the pricing. When the price is low, everybody buy Vietnam products, not our products. Now we have to compete with another country who are not being charged taxes. Apple against apple, yes, we can fight. But apple against oranges, you can't fight. Right? You got to run back. Give me playing field, level playing field. Opinion bad wicket taker. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right. The GSP system does not apply to exports from the developed countries to the developing countries. I told you it's a reciprocal. I'm sorry, not reciprocal. It is non-reciprocal. It is non-reciprocal. Non-reciprocal means now normally what is happening, give and take policy. Always give and take policy. If you buy certain things, then we have to buy certain things of those countries also. But under GSP, that part is not there. We don't have to buy anything from the developed countries. Only the developed countries will buy from us. It's a non-reciprocal system. Generalized scheme of preferences, in a nutshell, European Union's GSP removes import duties from products coming into the European Union market from vulnerable developing countries. Okay, this helps developing countries to alleviate poverty and create jobs based on the international values and principles, including labor and human rights. මේ බලුවහම ඔගල short notes ගහගන්න the benefits of HS codes, benefits of GSP, benefits of GSP plus ඒවා ඔගල තනින් ගහගන්න ඕන. මම එක කාලයක් දුන්නා. දැන් ඒක නෑ. Because IBSL always says මම ළමයින්ට උගන්වන්නේ මේ පොඩි උන්ට උගන්වනවා වගේ කියලා. එහෙම කරන්න එපා කියලා. Like a university. මම යුනිවර්සිටි කරනකොට හරි ලේසිනේ. ඔගේ ඩිම්පල් ලින්ක් කිව්වා. Right? Refer Google or refer this particular book, chapter 7, page 28, page 71 to 105. Read. You have to do your own studies. Right? This helps developing countries to elevate poverty and create jobs based on international values and principles, including labor and human. How they can create jobs? The developing countries, how they can create jobs? බොහොම සරලම ප්‍රශ්න මම අහන්නේ common sense. පාඩම් ගන්න දේවල් නෙමෙයි common sense. If you are having the GSP facility, a country, how their jobs, how they can create more jobs? Because
Expanding export business.
you can expand your exports. When you expand your exports, you have to create jobs, and you're not thinking twice to expand it because you have a superb market, right? And always getting zero taxes. We don't know that one, right? Again, no. But only thing is, this GSP is always these European Union countries, they are controlling this to cane us and punish us on our labor and human rights. Labor and human rights. But last 2 weeks, what had happened at Geneva? What had happened at Geneva? Very good, this thing. I can't remember that lady's name. Monica. Mrs. Doolittle වගේ නිකන් ඔරෝගෙන ඉන්නේ නේද? මේ ඒ lady හැමතිස්සෙම කියන්නේ මොනවද? Labor issues for teachers, their salaries. Right? මිනිස්සෙක් අනේ ටීචර්ස්ලා ඔක්කොම පාරට අරගෙන පාරවල් දිගේ ඇවිත් කරපු විකාරේ. කොවිඩ් වැඩි කරලා. ඒවා අර countries වලට යන්නේ වැරදි they get wrong pictures. වැරදි pictures යන්නේ. The government is not taking much interest on giving them the correct picture. The opposition and the other people who are against the government, they give a wrong picture. Actually, really speaking, I will never endorse what these people, Joseph Stalin and all, are doing. They're wrong, right, at this particular situation. But the Geneva Commission, Human Rights Commission, they treat it as a labor issue and the human rights. ඔක්කොම human rights මේ අසෙනකොට අපේ මිනිස්සු ගිහිල්ලා මිනිස්ටර්ස්ලා ගිහිල්ලා මේ president asset money, right? So this has created more issues. So we'll get punished. And immediately she said, you have to seriously think about stopping GSP facility to Sri Lanka. Finish. Then what is going to happen to our country exports? Now we are in a very tight situation. Our only hope to come out of this critical issue, COVID issue, because of the COVID pandemic, the country's uh, foreign exchange reserves has come down. The only way out is do more and more export, more foreign exchange. They can be able to do it. Then we lost nation, we lost country, right? Just think about these things. Almost 50 years ago, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development asked developed countries to help developing countries to integrate into the world economy. Right? 50 years ago, America පටන් ගත්තේ 1971 කියලා මං කියන්නේ. හරිද? 21 කියන්නේ 50 years ago. Right? The Generalized Scheme of Preferences, GSP, was born, and today about a dozen countries have GSP mechanism in place. Right? The developed countries keep it, who are having GSP scheme mechanism. Right? Can somebody remember? ඔගොල්ලෝ දැන් නිවුස් බලනවා නම් ඔගොල්ලෝ මතක තියෙන්න ඕනේ දැන් මාත් ඔගොල්ලොත් එක්කම බලන කට්ටිය. In 2012 2013 වගේ කාලෙදී 2012 2013 වගේ කාලෙදී we had this issue. This GSP facility is. Do you think that this is only for finished garments? Finished garments? No. Finished garments is only one. If I am correct, there are about 450 odd categories where we can claim GSP facilities. Right? But the entire European GSP was stopped somewhere in 2012 or 13, if I'm correct. The reason was, if you analyze the whole scenario of granting GSP facilities by European Union countries, they, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to discuss about politics or any nationality. I'm just trying to give you some examples. So please pardon me. Right? So we know, but it's nothing to hide. We know in Europe, this Tamil diaspora is very strong. Very strong. So they can pressurize most of the governments, right? In 2012 or 13, I can remember our fishermen down south and some of the areas, fishermen, when they are fishing, they started using a method called light course scale. The light course scale. Light course is කරන්නේ මුදේ රැට නේ ෆිෂින් කරන්නේ මේගොල්ලෝ ගහනවා in a powerful light එකක් මුදට මේ බෝට් එකේ ඉඳන් ඉන්න powerful light එකක් ඇතුළට දානවා දාපු ගමන් මොකද වෙන්නේ all the fish will come near that පාට ලොකු light එකක් ආපු ගමන් මාළු එනවා ආලෝකයට එනවා. Then you put the net and try to catch the harvest. Right? That we call it light course. But that is internationally prohibited thing. That method is internationally prohibited. Right? Don't ask me why. Maybe due to some we are doing a wrong thing to capture this fish, right? Then ඒක දාපු ගමන් දැන් ඒක ලීක් වුණා. ලීක් වෙච්ච ගමන් European Union said, yes, you guys are using a wrong method to catch fish. So we stop all, then they immediately stop all the imports of fish, or otherwise our export of fish to European Union completely. Then what happened to our exporters of fish? අපි වැඩි හරි ගොඩාක් අපි shark fins අරවා මේ prawns එම අපි export කරනවා ගොඩක්. prawn farms වලට දාලා prawn farm එකෙන් ගත්ත tiger prawns ඒවා හදලා cooler boxes වල ඔක්කොම කරලා අපි export කරන්නේ. right? ඒ ඔක්කොම නැවතුණා. ඒක නැවතුණා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරනවා වැරදි method. ඒකයි මං කරේ ස්කෝල් ප්‍රින්සිපල් පනිෂ් කරනවා වගේ තමයි. ඔක්කොම කුණු බෙදුම් අහගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. ඔච්චර කුණු බෙදුම් අහගෙන ඉන්නේ ඇයි? Because we are a developing country. ඒකෙන්ද තමයි ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් කවදාද අපිට කෙලින් වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන දවසට අපිට පුළුවන් අනේ ඕගන්ට ඕන එකක් කරගන්න අපිට ඕන විදිහට අපි මාළු අල්ලනවා කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන්ට බෑ. We are controlled, right? Who grants GSP preferences? Who grants GSP preferences? The following 13 countries grant GSP preferences, right? Australia, Canada, Iceland, Kazakhstan, Norway, Switzerland, USA. Belarus, European Union, Japan, New Zealand, the Russian Federation, and Turkey. Right? Russian Federation and Turkey. I'm not sure about the UK, but UK came under European Union. Those earlier, මම දන්නේ මේක මේට පස්සේ කලින්ද වෙච්ච දේද කියලා. I'm not sure about that. At least now you know there are 13 countries who grant GSP preference, right? The European Union offers, European Union තමයි ගොඩාක් GSP එකයි GSP plus එකයි දෙන්නේ European Union එක. GSP නම් ඇමරිකාත් දෙනවා. ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාත් දෙනවා. Canada, Australia, Iceland, ඔය ටික ඔක්කොම USA ම GSP දෙනවා. ගොඩක් countries. GSP plus එක දෙන්නේ mainly European Union, right? The European Union offers, there are 3 types of GSP. One is standard GSP. Standard GSP for low and lower middle income countries like us, low and lower middle income countries. This means a partial or full removal of custom duties on 2/3 of tariff lines. Partial or full removal of custom duties on 2/3 of tariff lines. Tariff selling 2/3 adu karna custom duty. That's a big amount, right? Big amount. එහෙම නැත්නම් full removal එකවත් දෙනවා. අඩුම ගානේ 2/3 නම් හම්බ වෙනවා. Right? That is normal standard GSP. Other one is plus. book කරලා දැම්මා. Sometimes you will be asked to write short notes on GSP and GSP plus. So then you have to have some comparison. GSP plus, the hot topic, right? The special incentive arrangements for sustainable development and good governance. It slashes the same tariff to 0% for vulnerable low and lower middle income countries. The GSP well either 2/3 of custom duty is removed or removed in full එක වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් 2/3 නම් වෙනවා. මෙතෙන්දී එහෙම දෙපාරක් නැහැ ඔක්කොම කෙලින්ම 0. No custom duty, 0 for vulnerable and low and lower middle income countries, right? That implement 27 international conventions related to human rights, labor rights, protection of the environment, and good governance. Only European Union offers GSP plus benefits. Read the last 2 sentences. There are conditions, countries that implement 27 international conventions. ලේසි නෑ GSP plus ගන්න. කියන විදියට කන් දෙක අල්ලගෙන දන ගහගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. අපිත් හරි ජාතියක්ද කියලා හිතනවා නේද ඔයගලන්ට? ඔයගලට හිතෙන්නේ නැද්ද? අපි මෙච්චර බලු වෙච්ච ජාතියක්ද කියලා? මම ඇත්තටම කියන්නේ. කියන විදියට ඉන්න ඕන. The reason is we are helpless. We are beggars. Right? So we have to abide by their rules and regulations. We have to abide by these 27 international conventions related to human rights, labor rights, protection of the environment. මොනාරි වැරද්දක් කළොත් ඩක් ගාලා නැවැත්තුවා. Right? What to do? Other one is EBA. EBA, that is everything but arms. EBA means everything but arms. Right? EBA, everything but arms. The special arrangement for least developed countries. Make a special arrangement for least developed countries, providing them with duty-free, quota-free access for all products except arms and ammunition. Except arms and ammunition, everything they allow duty-free and no quotas. But in GSP Plus, we have our quotas. GSP, we have our quotas, which is subjective quotas. Within the quotas, but not for arms and ammunitions. Not for arms and ammunitions. Right? The objectives of the GSP, the objectives of the GSP, the objectives of the generalized, non-reciprocal, non-discriminatory system of preferences in favor of the developing countries, including special measures in favor of measures in favor for least developed countries should be to increase their export earnings, to promote their industrialization, and to accelerate their rates of economic growth. ඔය තුනම වෙනවා if you get GSP or GSP plus. Right? This is where the other countries go passing us. Other countries go passing us. This is what had happened to us against countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, Bhutan, මොනවද? Now they are better than us. Their per capita income is much better than us. Why? $1 million question. Right? Under GSP, developed countries offer non-reciprocal preferential treatment, such as zero or low duties on imports to products originating in developing countries for low and lower middle income countries. Preference giving countries unilaterally determine which countries and which product are included in the GSP scheme. When you are a country where you give GSP, you allow GSP facility to other countries, developing countries, then you determine what are the products you are going to have, right? Maybe not all. Some of the products, make it up with GSP, right? Conditions. Developing countries are automatically granted GSP if they are classified as having an income level below upper middle income by the World Bank, right? If they are classified as having an income level below upper middle income by the World Bank. Then very වෙලාවත් අපේ income එක වැඩි වුණොත් එම if it goes above upper middle income level, then those facilities they will stop immediately. අපි දුප්පත් නම් විතරයි දෙන්නේ. හැමදාම දුප්පතෙන් ඉන්න ඕන. Do not benefit from another arrangements like a free trade agreement granting them preferential access to the European Union market. To the European Union market in addition, if granted GSP Plus, beneficiaries are required to ratify 27 international conventions and to cooperate with the Commission to monitor and implementation of these conventions. The current GSP Plus like GSP Plus එක තියාගන්න ලේසි නෑ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි දැන් ගන්නවා නම් ඊට පස්සේ ගිහිල්ලා වැඳලා ගන්න ඕන. දර ගහගෙන ඉන්න ළමයා නැගිටලා ප්‍රින්සිපල්ට පොරොන්දු වෙන්න ඕන. සර් මම නම් ඊට පස්සේ කවදාකවත් වැරද්දක් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ප්‍රොමිස් සර්. එහෙම තමයි අපිට සලකන්නේ. Least developed countries are automatically granted the benefits of the everything but arms arrangements, even if they have another arrangement in place. All GSP beneficiary countries have to respect the principles of 15 core conventions on human rights and labor rights listed in the GSP regulations. So when you are been given GSP, still there are 15 core conventions under human rights. And if you want to be in the category of GSP plus 100% zero, then you are required to ratify 27 international conventions. නැත්නම් අර 15වත් වෙන්නත් ඕන. Right? Okay. List of GSP beneficiary countries as of January 2019. Sri Lanka කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? Under GSP or GSP plus?
GSP plus.
GSP plus. Only few countries. Armenia, Bolivia, Cape Verde, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Pakistan, Philippines, Sri Lanka. Think about, right? India එහෙම තියෙනවද? India is ඒකත් developing country කියලා දෙන්නේ, but they can get only GSP. They are not eligible for GSP plus facility. අපි වගේ හිඟන්න නෙමෙයි. Even Kenya බand Kenya වත්තනම අපි කියන්නේ මොකද කියලා. I have been there once or twice. I don't know. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ per capita income and their economy is much better than us, right? Congo, Nigeria, Samoa, Syria, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා. Monitoring of GSP Plus. The European Union continuously monitors GSP Plus beneficiary countries, effective implementation of the 27 international conventions on human rights, labor rights, environmental protection, and good governance. This monitoring includes exchange of information, dialogue and visits, and involves various stakeholders, including civil society. අන්න දැක්ක නේද? මේ වගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් හදන්න ලේසි නෑ. ඔක්කොම බලන්න වෙනවා මේ රටේ වෙන ඒවා, including civil societies. අපේ teachers principal association එක ඇරියා නම් ඒකත් petition ගෙවුවා නම් ඒකත් හරි. කඩිනල්තුමා petition එකක් ගෙවුවම ඒකත් හරි. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස petition එකක් ගෙවුවොත් ඒකත් හරි. Right? Civil society. So මේක නිකන් අපි ගෙවියට හොවිච්ච පුවක් ගෙඩිය වගේ ඉන්න ඕන. The Commission publishes a report on the implementation of GSP every 2 years on the progress made by the GSP plus beneficiary countries in implementing the 27 international conventions. ඔය තමයි අපිට ඉන්න සරින් සරේ ජිනීවා වලදී. Right? Impact of GSP from 2011 to 2017, the European Union imports from the beneficiary countries increased by 44%. Can you remember when we talk about few months back, my first lecture එක මට මතක ඉදලා introduction to trade. ඒක මම charts එකක් පෙන්නුවා. කොහොමද European Union එක අපේ ගොඩක් ගන්නවා කියන එක. Right? The reason is they are giving this GSP plus and GSP facility. EBA countries, everything but arms, EBA countries saw their exports to the European Union increase by 125%. Right? Under GSP, 44% increase from 2011 to 2017. Exports to the European Union, these EBA countries, by 125%. And GSP plus beneficiaries by 82%. Right? The evaluation also indicates that countries increasingly use the available trade preferences and diversify their exports. Moreover, GSP plus beneficiaries saw an economic incentive for making progress in ratifying and implementing the 27 international conventions required under GSP plus. Right? Sri Lanka trade with European Union. On 19th May 2017, the European Union granted Sri Lanka better access to the European Union for its exports. It did so under the European Union Generalized Scheme of Preferences Plus, GSP Plus එක දුන්නා අපිට 2017 වලදී. Right? උදෙන්දී අර good governance එකයි the political regime also plays a major role. Right? If the political regime is always try to be friendly with European Union countries, කියන ඕනම දෙයක් කරනවා, කනාල්ලගෙන උඩ පයින්ඩකුත් එකත් පැනල පෙන්නනවා. එතකොට they'll give us the carrot. ඒ carrot එක පෙන්නලා කනාල්ලන් උඩ පයින්නකෝ උඩ පැන්න 10 පාරකට උඩ පැන්නාම අපිට carrot වල කැල්ලක් දෙනවා. ඒ වගේ තමයි. Being able to export more to the European Union will help Sri Lanka's economy develop and create more and better jobs for its people. The GSP Plus scheme is conditional on Sri Lanka advancing human and labor rights and working towards sustainable development. Right? We have conditional labor. We have to maintain the labor and human and labor rights. Right? Okay. Red picture. The European Union is Sri Lanka's second largest trading partner. The European Union is Sri Lanka's second largest trading partner after India, but its main export destination, absorbing 31% of Sri Lanka exports in 2015. Then make a Bahalatino. Then 20 විතර වලට බහැලා තියෙනවා දැන්. Right? 20 July 2021 වලදී මම දැක්කා 20 වලට 20 විතර බහැලා. In 2016, Sri Lanka was the European Union's 62nd largest trading partner in goods, accounting for 0.1% of European Union trade. 62nd largest trading partner have amounting for 0.1% of European Union trade. Right? We have peanuts. Sri Lanka's exports to the European Union are dominated by textile and clothing, accounting for 82% of Sri Lanka's total exports to the European Union in 2016. Textile and clothing accounts for 61.9% of Sri Lanka's exports to the European Union, followed by food products with 12.3% in 2016. European Union, 28 imports from Sri Lanka have been relatively stable between 2007 to 2016, increasing only from euro 2,087 million to euro 2,225 million. Look, between 2007 to 2019, it's almost 9 years. 9 years, right? Right? Why is GSP Plus important to Sri Lanka? If you get a question like that, right? Why is GSP Plus important to Sri Lanka? Even if Sri Lanka enjoys GSP facility with other developed countries, the European Union is recognized as a major player, which provides more benefits. Most of Sri Lankan leading export products are included among the 7,500 products eligible for European Union GSP. GSP Plus withdrawal, right? It was in December 2009 that European Union decided to withdraw temporarily the GSP Plus benefits to Sri Lanka. What the reason? Can somebody give me the reason? Historical year 2009.
Yuddha Jayagраhanis.
Yuddha Jayagраhanis. The victory. Because of the diasporas, we were, cornered, and we had a lot of issues. Based on the findings of an exhaustive commission of investigation launched in October 2008 and completed in October 2009, right? In view of the report, no satisfactory progress was shown by Sri Lanka in the implementation of the 3 UN human rights conventions, such as civil and political rights, conventions against torture, and rights of the children, which were related to the grant of benefits. Rights of the children, what we are talking, right? We all know who violated that rights of the children. Is it the Sri Lankan government or the other parties, LTT? They are the people who recruited child soldiers, right? හැබැයි ඒ ඔක්කොම කරකිලා ආවේ අන්තිම යුද්ධයෙන් පස්සේ මෙහාට. But everybody knows, entire world knows about it. Entire world knows about it. People have created films and they have shown those films. Film එකක් කියන්නේ not the actual pictures, no? Anybody can think something and make a teledrama or a film. It's based on some assumptions, right? Films වලින් තමයි ගොඩක් ඒගොල්ලෝ prove කළේ. But when the European Union wanted to hit us, they took this as a good tool, right? These sections were affecting the country and its economy. දැනුත් මේ පාරත් කියන්නේ අල්ක කලේ නෑ මේක කලේ නෑ අර වගවීම වගකීම අර මෙයා ඔක්කොම දැන් කලේ නෑ කියන දැන් එන්න තාම අර කමිෂන් දැම්මේ නෑ මේ කමිෂන් දැම්මට ආවේ නෑ. So therefore we request all the countries in the European Union to stop granting GSP plus facility to us. අපි කබලෙන් ලිපට වැටෙනවා. What is the best thing for us to do? You all are matured people. Give me an answer. Isn't it, Ajit, isn't it an interesting topic? Huh? Make an interesting topic. We discussed a lot of additional things. We went out of the normal focus, right? We discussed various things. It's very interesting. Now you answer these actions are affecting the countries and its economy. What do you think that we should? Is which our governments are ignorant, idiots. They are not. I'm saying that they are idiots. Right? මොනවා කරනවද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් අපිට මෙච්චර කන්ට්‍රෝල්ස් දානකොට මේකෙන් ගොඩේ ඉන්න අනේ ඔයගලගේ GSP ඔයගල තියාගන්නයි කියලා කියන්නේ නැතුව. ඔයගලගේ GSP අපිට එපයි කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? මේ GSP හින්දානේ මේ ඔක්කොම තද කරන්නේ. Some solution? Think. You all are matured and I know කවදාවත් මේ ඔය විදිහට මේ කතා නොකර ඉන්න එපා මේ වගේ දේවල් වලට open discussions වලට එන්න ඕන.
There are some other markets. There are some other markets.
Yeah, why can't we find other markets? Is only European Union. European Union ඇඳගෙන ඉන්න මොකටද? ඒකෝ අවුරුදු ගානක් තිස්සේ අපි කෑවා. අපේ රටත් from 1505 වලින් ඉඳන් මේ වෙනකනුත් කෑවා. කාලා තවත් මේ කන්න යනකොට අයිය අපි උඩුවනවන් ඉන්නේ. Why can't we find other markets? You keep your things, right? We have to go for alternate markets where we can put our stuff. So our trade guys, our trade, ministers and the foreign ministers, what are they doing? They are only going delegations කියලා. අනික් countries වලට ගියාට අර වගේ ජොලියකුත් නැහැනේ. ඉතින් මොනවාරි අවුරුදු 5ක් ඉඳලා යනවා තමයි අපි කරන්නේ. අපිට කවදාරි මුලේ තියෙන මිනිස්සෙක් හම්බුනොත් මේ අපිට යන්න පුළුවන් නේ. We can find for other markets. There are so many other markets. European Union, how many countries we are talking about? 13 countries තමයි මේ කතා කරන්නේ. 13 countries වල දායන තියාගෙන ඉන්න ඔයගලන්ගේ වැඩ. What about over 200 countries are there? Why not we go for them? And why not we find we do some developments on our value addition to our exports? Then give a challenge to the other countries, right? Add more value. If Vietnam and Bangladesh is giving some product, we have to improve that product and then export it. Why we are not doing it? Right? මේක මේක ඇහුවා මේ ළඟදී few weeks or few months back, one of the discussions, TV discussions already. Either there are 24/7 එකේ හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් රතියේ හරි මොන හරි එකදී.
Ekwanagemu program, I think that's the program. That Ekwanagemu program, I think there were 4 businessmen.
Yeah, pro businessmen. මේගොල්ලෝ මේ ධම්මික පෙරලේම super guys. They have these ideas, right? Once Dhammika Perra mentioned, it was very interesting what he mentioned. He said all this has happened during the first wave of COVID, or first wave or second wave. Okay, third wave again, first or second wave. All the countries in the world, I think during the second wave, we were hit more seriously. All the countries pressurized, right? They said no. All these payments and profit has come down. We can't survive. He was telling, this is the best time for me. All my products which I exported, and I earned about 200% increase in my export revenue. Just imagine. Oh, he has some innovative thinking. Instead of doing the traditional one and අපේ මිනිස්සු මේ කරගන්න බැරිද ඉන්නකට යා බැලුවා ඔක්කොම that is competition. All the countries are facing this one. The countries locked down. Countries locked down, like India locked down. Countries like Bangladesh was locked down those days, right? Entire European Union countries locked down. America locked down. Locked down, but they wanted certain things. Every country wanted certain things. Mask, gloves, surgical gloves, surgical mask. We items on factories. He started producing those things, exported, earn more money. Why can't we think like that? Yeah, nothing මෙච්චර අර ගෑනු කෑ ගහනේකට ඔළුව නවන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. අපි නටන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. But as a nation, we have to be together. As a nation, we have to be together. Then we can win this race. Otherwise, no. Right? Need for European Union GSP Plus. A review of Sri Lankan exports indicates that nearly 57% of exports is exported to European Union and USA. This is where we are. This is what the biggest mistake we are doing. අපි ඊළඟ GSP plus එකට ණයෙන් අඬ GSP එකට අඬ අපි අරවට දීලා මේ තියෙන මොන හරි දීලා ගන්න එක තමයි අපේ තියෙන්නේ. සිංහලයාගම පුරුද්ද. Right? It shows 27% of exports is shared by USA. And the majority, 30%, is shared by European Union. Out of all products exported during the last 25 years, the apparel sector has taken the lead in 45% of total products exported. The most significant feature is that the USA and European Union equally share 43% of exports, making the total 86% of whole Sri Lanka apparel exports. Again, with whom we are fighting? With the giants. With the giants in the sense, Vietnam, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Philippines, India, and we are fighting against those giants, and we are being penalized. අපිව කේන් කරනවා. අපිව කේන් කර තියෙනවා. ඒතර අපිට we are not getting the GSP or GSP plus. So those people will get the benefit, right? Even though USA is the second largest market after European Union for Sri Lanka, the benefits under GSP are very minimal. Now you understand. මේ පොයින්ට් එකට තමයි මම මෙච්චරලා ආවේ. අපි ඔච්චර ගියාට අපිට benefits එක හරි අඩුයි. අපි හැමදාම punished for bad behavior. මොන හරි එකක්. අපි bad behavior වුණා හරි නැත්නම් හරි we always get punished. It has to be noted that certain articles are prohibited under USA GSP facility, such as textiles, apparel, footwear, handbags, luggage, work gloves, and other leather wearing, ceramics, glass and steel, etc. This reveals that even apparel, Sri Lanka's biggest export product, which covers 70% total exports to USA, is not included in the USA GSP facility. This clarifies the demand for need of European Union GSP plus. The USA is not giving us GSP facility for apparel and all, but we are sending more to them. අපි අර එහෙමත් එම යවලත් අපිට benefit එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. But anyway, USA is not giving us GSP plus. We get GSP plus only from European Union. Right? That is why we are always going after European Union, which we are getting cornered. Right. I think interesting discussion, but your participation is very low. Maybe, I don't know whether you are not very much familiar with these things, but when you are a banker, my dear students, when you are a banker, you have to be in line. You have to be in line with the latest developments in the world, especially what is happening in Sri Lanka. Right? All these things you have to be in line with the latest developments. Right? This is not politics, but without politics, you can't live. Like once Machiavelli, the Lasky, the famous, people who are treated as the gods in politics, Machiavelli, and especially the Lasky, Miniha Deshapalana Saptakila, the human or the man is a political animal. It's a political animal. Also an animal, but others are not political animals. We are political animals. We can't deviate from politics. Politics. It's Sattu. Sattu, Bala Sattu. But we are politics. But we are political animal. Right? අපිට political deviate වෙන්න බෑ. මේ politics වලින් deviate වෙන්න බෑ. කොහොමද politics වලට ඒන එකින්ද තමයි අපි economy එකේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒවෙන් තමයි අපිට analyze කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේ trading ගැන. When you are in a bank, you have to have knowledge. That is what I'm telling you. Always be in touch with the current affairs. Don't listen to anybody. Analyze it. Don't listen to anybody. Analyze it. I always value that guy, Damekara, even though he hasn't had any degrees. It's immaterial. PhD, මාස්ටර්ස් ඩොක්ටරේට් ඒව නෑ. ඩොක්ටරේට් නැතින අපේ නිකන් ඉනිවිස්ටත් තිරන්න ම සිල්ලායි කට්ට ඩොක්ටරේට් තිනගේ අනි අර දම්මික පැරට නැත්තේ. He doesn't want. Right? But what he says is perfectly correct. I think those are the people who should run this country. ඇත්තටම කලාට හිතනවා. They have some vision. ඒ විෂන් එකට යන්න ඕන ගියොත් අපිට ගොඩ එන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට ගොඩ එන්නම ඕන. ගොඩ එන්න එකම දේ තියෙන අපේ එක්ස්පෝර්ට්ස් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. එනේ කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Oh, the government should get those people more and more. We have to use them and get their expertise, and we have to get them as the advisors. And the politicians should not be allowed to overrule their ideas. That is why those people are not coming forward. Even if they suggest, our politicians, corrupted politicians, will overrule them. But if you can't get 2 cents from any deal, out. Right? Making the work, maybe not. Right. Thank you very much. I think we covered 2 areas which are very important to trade, guys. One is HS codes and the other one is GSP and GSP plus. Always we are talking about this. And HS codes, of course, you have to be very, very careful as bankers. If you made a mistake, and sometimes your bank will also get penalized. Ended up with thumping penalties. Make the GSP plus again the bank a penalty again, but you will be able to advise your customers. Hurried advice karana. We are meeting with them. We are on leisurely off the record of then you can give them better ideas. Why don't you look for new avenues, new markets, right? There are so many organizations. I have discussed with you about a few weeks back, EDB, right? Then Chamber of Commerce. What are they doing? Are they giving the direct, are they giving any, do they have any vision? Do they encourage our customers to find new markets? No. You go and ask EDB for certain products. Definitely they will tell you, it is always මේවා තියෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන්නේම තියෙන්නේ European market එක තමයි they are dealing. Anyway, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend and stay safe.